and welcome to The View. Now, I have made plenty of Trump-Nixon comparisons before. The investigations, the paranoia, the idea that the Constitution is just a working thing and it's not really a document, something to just sort of think about. But apparently one thing Trump learned from Nixon's legacy is don't record your conversations. Yesterday, he tweeted that he has no tapes of his meeting with Comey. Remember when he said that?
Yes.
When he said, oh, don't worry about the tapes, he tweeted. So why tease us about it all this time? What is up with him?
And not just teasing it, but he said a couple of weeks ago to ABC's John Carl, you're going to be really disappointed when you find out, and then kind of like let us wait. And now we find out that at least he hasn't made any recordings. There could be some recordings out there, but he said we'd be disappointed, and I'm kind of disappointed.
How many people in the audience believed that he had tapes? Clap. Oh, really? You believed it?
No, I didn't believe he had tapes.
I can't believe this audience is so gullible.
Did you think they were tapes?
You know he's a liar.
Did you think they were tapes?
No.
He's a little
of course
paranoid.
not.
I thought he, I mean, it's not far-fetched. They say he did that in office, in an office setting.
I didn't
The thing to me is I think he likes to sow seeds of doubt. He likes to plant seeds because if there is enough curiosity, it's like getting a juror, one juror, to think there's reasonable doubt. That's kind of how he operates.
But he would have burnt the tapes if they had them.
Well, and he seemed to imply in his tweet that there may be tapes because of all the electronic surveillance out there, but he didn't make the tapes. Maybe there are no tapes, but there are those Comey memos, aren't there?
I was kind of looking forward to the tapes.
Of course.
I was. I mean, because the truth is in this thing, it's he said, she said, so much back and forth. He said, actually.
He said,
so much back and forth.
There are no cheese in this administration.
That's true.
A twist that we didn't see coming.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would have liked to just hear it. Honestly, I think that's the only way you're going to get to the bottom of it, because even the memos leave a lot of room for, Comey's feelings, how he felt about something. I think people want to hear exactly what went on in that room, especially being that Trump shoot a lot of people out of the room. You like the memos?
I enjoy that there are
The memos are fine, but it would be nice to have.
The tapes would have been more.
I was more potent.
It's still just one side of the story. It'd be nice to hear it in its full context.
Yeah, it's full
All right, the other thing that's going on is the health care. We won't get into the weeds with this, believe me, but they better figure this out quickly because someone's going to have a coronary over it. Republicans and Democrats are really going at it. They've been protests raging outside Mitch McConnell's office. So look at them. You see it in the back there.
Yeah.
And I read an op-ed. I read an op-ed that said Americans are as divided as Sunnis and Shiites in the Middle East. I mean, you can't even talk to someone from the other party. And 73 million people hate the other side. In one study that they had. Hate.
Do they hate the other side, though, in terms of people, or do they hate the other side in terms of politicians?
It's politics.
Politicians, the party. I mean, I'm a libertarian, so I kind of hate both parties. That's where I have some fun. But I think when they say they hate the other side, they don't mean friends or family or people who think differently from them. They mean politicians in Washington on the other side who are implementing policies that they feel are bad for them and the people that they love. That makes sense to me. I mean, that's
but people
what
are
our two
fighting
parties
in their
system
family. If somebody
I see that.
Exactly. That's what I see.
See that.
The holiday dinner.
I've had that in my family. I mean, I told you guys on Thanksgiving, I warned my mother. I was like, there's a safe room. And if you want to talk about politics, then you're going to go to the safe room and you're not going to ruin everyone else's, holiday. But I will say, I don't hate anyone and I don't hate a party, but I don't understand some of the policies of the Republican Party because it's supposed to be sort of the moral party, the family values party.
Not really.
And I don't see that.
No, and not really.
There's a
Well, I think because of the issues.
What bothers you?
It bothers me that they don't want to take care of the environment. It bothers me that they want to take away women's rights. It bothers me that they're not protecting the LGBTQ community. That is not Christian.
Okay, but that's the way you're looking at their policy. You're seeing their policy from a lens that's different from how they're seeing their policy.
How are they seeing?
But they say that it's the party of moral values. Where the heck is the morality?
I'm a conservative, and I would argue that I do care about climate change and the environment, but I didn't support the Paris Accord because that wasn't working, and I don't want to hand our dollars over to countries to supposedly take care of something when there's no accountability. I care about the LGBT community, but I'm an LGBT advocate. I supported gay marriage before it was cool, but I want to also protect the religious liberties of institutions and businesses around the country.
But Jed, you're an
I don't want the federal government imposing.
All right.
So there's a lot of people on the right.
Because we also talked about the fact that oftentimes when you're talking about union workers and people, the big companies that are ruling these people, it's not in their best interest to support environment. So there are a lot of conservatives that don't support environment
and take care of
because it doesn't serve the mighty
and
dollar.
take care of your fellow man. That's what Christianity is supposed to be
it's
about.
not the government's
Therefore,
job.
for the grace of God, go I.
It's not the government's job.
All right, there's a saying out there. You know the saying. Be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. Senator Al Franken has me wondering about my wish that Trump gets impeached. And I don't want him to get impeached until after my book comes out.
And that's October, right?
October.
He might get himself impeached on spite, just to spite you before that book comes out.
Anyway, I don't believe he's going to get impeached because the Republican Party's not going to do it. But Franken says that things could be even worse for us domestically if Mike Pence became president. Now, it's possible he's the worst one. He might force everybody to get, what do they call that, conversion therapy, even if you're not gay.
For that issue alone, I'm petrified of Pence, because anyone that believes in conversion therapy or praying the gay away has never met an actual gay person. But I'm petrified that could be a thought in someone's mind present day. And he implemented a lot of these things in his own state. So I do believe he's an ideologue on some of these things, and that scares me more than a puppet.
But Franken says that he'd be better on foreign affairs. What do you think, Paul?
Here's the thing, too, and I think if you're a one-issue voter, and I know that's super important. It's a huge issue. That's a huge issue for you. But, I mean, there's no arguing what he did in Indiana. If the economy is really important to you, I mean, he initiated one of the biggest tax cuts in Indiana history, but he increased the state surplus. And there's no arguing that even the New York Times said that he is the steady hand in this administration. And Elijah Cummings, a congressman, head of the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, said, quote, he is an honorable man.
But he also blocked the resettlement of Syrian refugees in Indiana and then illegally
A lot of people, I would have done the same thing.
It's not just a personal belief in regards to gays, though.
We don't want you there either.
Some people might.
What I was clarifying for the Pence thing, though, is his ideas about the LGBT community is not just personal. He actually legislates with that. Tim Kaine was someone that said personally he was pro-life, but he would never legislate his beliefs.
Exactly.
So the distinction is important to me.
On conversion therapy,
that's a significant.
That's the talking point that goes against him. His people deny that he ever endorsed conversion therapy. That's the only point people always talk about with him. That's a very look it up.
I gotta go. We'll be right back.